Hello, people. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to talk about the Jedi Order at and around the time of Order 66. Yeah, folks, why didn't the Jedi's have a outdoor plan or a way out plan, so to speak, that if they think that something could possibly go wrong unseen, that they could all of a sudden go somewhere real secretive, like a secretive hidden world or a secretive hidden galaxy with hundreds of and thousands of planets that are secretive, in which the Sith do not know about at all, or even the Republic itself. But the Jedi Order or the High Council are well aware of that, so that they can't let the word spread, because somebody that they don't want to know about those secret worlds and planets will be aware of those places, and they might try to seek to plunder them. Yeah, there's this new Star Wars series out now. It's like a Goonies like child adventures, but it's done in outer space and on different worlds, where they travel to different worlds and their main goal is to get home. So in that series, it was revealed that the old Republic had hidden worlds, secretive worlds, and some were very rich in treasure. When I say secretive, I mean the core of the galaxy didn't know about those worlds and where they were. Pirates didn't know, crime bosses didn't know, and apparently even the Empire didn't know. So at the time of Order 66, why didn't the Jedi suddenly run to those secretive worlds in which the Jedi Council had set up for them, in case the worst possible thing happened, in which the Sith took back over the whole galaxy, or the Sith came out of nowhere in swarms and took over? The Jedi say that the dark side is hard to see. So apparently anything can happen in the dark side. There might be Sith armies out there. So the Jedis could have been swarmed with hundreds of thousands of Sith armies, instead of merely being attacked by Darth Sidious and Darth Vader. So in ways, it could have been much worse and horrifying than what Vader did and the Emperor did to the Jedi Order. In other words, the Jedis don't know how many Sith are there. They don't know how many masters of the dark side are out there, because the dark side is hard to see. But nevertheless, they assured themselves that the Sith could not have returned and the Sith were not around, because they would be aware of it. But it's evil all over the galaxy. It's crime syndicates, pirating, pillaging, dictatorships, slavery. So it's a lot of bad things happening. A lot of bad things happen. So the Jedi can't sense that. Like, they can't sense all of that abundance of bad that's happening, and which might pertain to the Sith. So it's like they totally discarded the Sith of being anything of a threat in that modern era, even though they knew that the Sith were terrible and problematic to the whole Jedi Order in the past. The Jedi need only look back thousands of years to see all of the Sith wars that had happened, and they knew the outcomes of those, the tragedies, the body counts, everything. So the Sith should not be something easily discarded or denounced like that, like it was in the Phantom Menace. Oh, we're sure it can't be the Sith. No, all the Jedi Council was shaking their head, but they were wrong. So when I'm pointing at these facts, I'm pointing at the Jedi Order being flawed. Was the Jedi Order always flawed like that for thousands of years? That's something to think about deeply, because the Jedi are foresighted, but they said the future isn't necessarily set, even though you can foresee it, because choices decide and dictate destiny. So you might choose one thing one minute, and then or choose something else another minute, like that. So Jedis believe what they see. That's why Anakin was sure that he could stop his wife from dying because he kept seeing it happen in his mind, but he didn't know that he was a part of it and he was directly responsible for it. So that those visions may not be completely clear that the Jedis receive or that the Sith receive, in fact, as well. Yeah. And I was saying the Jedi should have had secretive planets when Order 66 happened. And or when the Sith took over in general, they should have had stuff set up as the worst case type of scenario that had unfolded. So they must go through these channels and be secretive. They could have had it like the Jedi were made aware of and knew about at least 50 secret hidden planets off the map of the Old Republic, New Republic, and etc. And everybody, in fact, didn't know about these worlds. So they should have had those worlds as safe havens where they could go there, being that of the survivors of Order 66, and then regroup, rebuild. And in fact, there should have been Jedi orders on those worlds where they could have replenished their numbers. And if need be, they could have gotten to advanced attack fighters, and they could have had a viable, credible military on those worlds entirely, including their own fleet of starships. Now, this is the worst case scenario unfolding where the Jedis have all of these hidden resources to fall back on. But nevertheless, they were not around. So it was like, so when Sidious said the Jedi were arrogant, he meant that they don't plan ahead like the Sith. They don't plan for all contingencies. They don't even plan for the worst case contingencies because they assumed that the Sith were not around and that they could handle the matters safely and effectively, and there is no other way but the way that they are doing it. And the Jedis had it mostly right too. They were not mostly wrong. They were mostly right in which they did things, but they were not immune to manipulation. That was a flaw in it. And in the Jedi Order at the time of Order 66. Yeah, true. Well, folks, that's something else to think about. And now I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to me, Detroit Miracle. Thank you.